Raw Deal Podcast, episode Who Cares, July 17th edition. Garrett, we had Raw tonight.
We don't count the episodes anymore, Brady.
Exactly, that's the point. So we had Raw tonight. For those of you that follow the wrestling and not the Big Brother podcast, as you can see, my background's a little different. I'm moving more in the way now. Pretty much, I just got in case anyone was wondering, obviously it's my college. I got some Patriots dog tags, a thing I won on a cruise, and then my 2 high school letters and a high school letter that my dad had earned when he was going to high school. So, you got any letters, Garrett? You got any high school letters?
No, I didn't go to any traditional high school, so no.
Oh, that's right. I remember. You took a very unique path.
Yes.
But anyway, overall, what do you think of Raw?
It was a pretty good show. I mean, it wasn't spectacular. It was episode. Definitely wasn't top 10% of Raw. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What did you think? I mean, I thought hour 2 sucked as usual, except for there were some few highlights. But like,
I became really disengaged during hour 3 because, let's be real, the main reason most people were watching tonight was to see what happened with the Kurt Angle thing. And the fact that they didn't do it at the very end of the show, the fact that they did it at hour 2, I thought was surprising a little bit to me because you'd think that they'd want to do it at the end just so people hopefully stick around the whole time. You know? And they never gave a specific time for it at the beginning. I was like, oh, this is smart, because if they do it at the end, they just say, coming up tonight, Kurt Angle.
I got Charlie's replacement. Got my cat.
Oh, dude, down.
All right. What did you think of the Raw, Cat? You were up there for some of it. What were your thoughts?
The cat does not want any of your shit right now. The cat's like, dude, put me down. It's like, look, bro, I'm not gonna beg you. Just put me down. I'm begging you.
Damn! Do you hear the cat?
Yes.
Dude, holy shit!
Cat's pissed off. So we kicked off Raw. Kicked off Raw with Dean Ambrose. I let out a literal groan.
I did as well.
When I found out Dean Ambrose was kicking off Raw, I was like, really, dude? I don't know. I think he's become stale for a lot of people, especially since they keep pushing the Miz angle, and it's like, dude, they've been feuding for like 6 years at this point, so maybe we should just get something different. But Dean Ambrose kicks off Raw and calls out Miz once again. I groan. I'm like, dude, really? We're doing this again? But luckily, we don't get the Miz right away. We get Seth Rollins. And then I thought the segment really turned around. I liked it.
Oh, yeah. It was good to like see some good back and forth between them two, because I don't know how long has it been since we actually, besides last week, that we saw them together in a segment that wasn't like a Shield triple threat thing. Like,
it's true, and I really like the angle of like Ambrose like never let it go. Like Reigns was kind of like he manned up and he let it go, and him and Seth have been cool for a while. But like Dean, it's like, nah, dude, I don't trust you. I'm not going to trust you. And Rollins pulled the here's a chair. I'm turning around, and you go ahead, hit me in the back. I thought that was interesting. But if you were writing, you would have had Ambrose hit him in the back, right?
Oh yeah, completely.
I would have had him go to town on Rollins. I thought that's the way they were going to go. That's the way it should have gone.
Yeah, a good Ambrose heel turn. Oh yeah, completely. For a writing technique.
Nah, dude. I think it wouldn't even be a heel turn. I think that he should have hit him in the back, beat the crap out of him for a couple minutes, and then picked him up, and then they can hug it out.
That would be good. But just from a writing standpoint, just the way they set up, I kept thinking he's going to hit him, and he's going to turn heel, and everyone's going to be like, what? And I'm going to be like, but I saw – I mean, you know.
Hey, Damien. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus, man.
Oh, man.
Bad. Damien says, I was hoping it turned out that Paige and Kurt had a sex tape together.
Oh, my God.
That would have been interesting. And then Del Rio comes out and kicks Angle's ass.
Hey, man.
Not that Del Rio be defending Paige. Apparently, he likes to be the one.
Yeah. Did
kicking
you
her
hear?
ass.
Did you see the story? He got stripped by Paige's dad of his promotions championship.
That's pretty funny. I actually didn't see that. I've been really busy getting the whole move done. I got some living room furniture coming tomorrow, so we're almost done. We're almost through the process. Trust the process. But yeah, pretty solid promo at the beginning. Dean Ambrose does not hit Seth Rollins with a chair. He tosses it down. After he does that, The Miz comes out and he's like, I knew you were going to do this. Surrounds the ring with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. And then they beat up Rollins and Ambrose, which once again I thought was less predictable. We would have thought that, even though it was 3-on-2, Axel and Bo Dallas really aren't seen as like real wrestlers to a lot of people. So I thought that Rollins and Ambrose were going to end up having the upper hand here, but pretty much The Miz ends up beating up Rollins, and Dean Ambrose gets beat up by the other two. So I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's different. It wasn't what we were expecting. What I found interesting about this whole segment was it had this tinge of like you didn't believe Ambrose when he actually was like, all right, we'll be good. And so when they came out, you were like, wait, is he going to turn on him now and just be like, sorry, I fight my own battles again or something? Like, I don't know. There's just so many angles. Like, I hope this is like the thing now, because I don't know. I could see a Rollins heel turn into a triple threat between the three of them or something. You know what I mean? Like, say
God, Rollins turns on him again.
Yeah. Dude, why not?
Oh.
Dude, if they think Rollins is only good as heel, that's where they'll go.
Yeah, that'd be good. But so after this, we had Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Bayley gets the pin again. Basically, this led to a storyline later in the night of Bayley and Sasha next week are going to have a match to see who faces Alexa, because obviously Alexa got counted out, so Sasha technically won the match at #GreatBalls. So those two are going to fight on Raw. I hate that the WWE never saves anything. Why are we putting Bayley Sasha, the match that everyone's been begging for, on just a random Raw? Makes no sense, right?
Because they're not going to just go out there and give them 5 minutes and say, ha, this was a funny match. This is going to be given the time it needs. So,
well, it is, but the match is still going to be forgotten. It's not going to end up on the network because it's not a pay-per-view. It's just going to be.
I'm betting Bayley's going to get the win, because they want her to, like, they're going to show her off and all her different moves and stuff in this match, and then she's going to win. It's going to be their attempt to get her back really over with the crowd.
I hope so. I mean, there were rumors that she had a lot of heat backstage, but then she's been winning recently, so I guess we'll see what happens with it. But match is all right, Bayley and Bliss. I mean, the big thing was they just wanted Bayley to get the win, so it happened. We'll skip the Corey Graves and Kurt Angle in the beginning. We'll do all that. We'll wrap that up at the end, because I'm sure we'll take the most time talking about that anyway. So Titus O'Neil had a little bit of a Titus Brand segment. I'll once again tie it in later in the night. Akira Tozawa and Arya Daivari had a match against each other, and Daivari came out and dedicated the match to what nationality is it? Iranian, right? Yeah, I think it's he dedicated it to a gold medal.
Yeah. To
Iranian. I can't remember his name. But so it's just so weird. Like, something that's not in English all of a sudden is a heel thing to do. It's always been like that, but it's just funny that Daivari doesn't really do anything heelish. He just says that he's dedicating this to this gold medal winner from his home country. Boo! How dare you?
How dare you be foreign in America?
The Kardashians. So Daivari, he's fired up. I mean, that match was solid. Tozawa gets some offense in, but then Daivari has this mean streak going on, and he ends up beating up Tozawa and targeting Tozawa's shoulder. And Titus O'Neil jumps up on the side of the ropes and asks the ref to end the match, and the ref does so. I thought this was a really good angle, because one, we don't see it ever. Two, it's kind of funny because New Japan has been teasing someone calling off, like throwing in the towel with all the Omega and Cody Rhodes stuff. And yet WWE is like, oh, we did it first before you get to do it.
Yeah. I mean, there's like, I feel like when we watch these kinds of segments, like we're always just like, what? And then like 5 minutes later, like, oh yeah, that happened. And then so like they did the right thing and they had a segment later to talk about it so that it didn't just not like leave our minds with the rest of the stuff that was going to come with the show. I thought this was placed nicely in the show too. It was like right in the middle segment where nobody's going to see it. So it was perfect.
Yeah. It was right before the Kurt Angle stuff. So a lot of people are probably, people were tuning in saying, all right, well, we're going into the last hour. Kurt Angle still hasn't been on. So we might as well keep the TV on until he comes on. So yeah, it was good. And then later on in the show, like you said, right before the main event, so Tozawa was pissed off, saying he doesn't quit, and he even says to Titus, we're done. So it's like, oh, I guess they're done. And then later on in the night, it cuts to them backstage, and Titus is like, I want you to understand why I'm doing this. It's because I care about next week and next month and a year from now. And Tozawa's like, all right, I understand that you did it, but I want a match with Ari Daivari on 205 Live tomorrow night. So just planting the seeds. So tomorrow we're getting Tozawa and Daivari, as long as Titus O'Neil can make it happen. Enzo Amore came out to run his mouth, which he's very good at doing. Basically came out and was just trying to mock Big Cass, trying to get him to come out. Turns out Enzo was baiting Big Cass to come out to the ring, and Big Show comes out to beat up Big Cass, but Big Cass ends up turning it around. Enzo comes into the ring to try to help out Big Show, and Cass ends up kicking his ass too. And Enzo had maybe the worst sell of a big boot in the history of professional wrestling. They made Big Cass look strong, which is really good for him, right? Because last week Big Show got a big upper hand.
Yeah. I didn't actually like this segment that much. I thought, I don't know, something just felt off about it the whole time going through it. And then, like, I guess Big Show coming out did kind of come somewhat help. I mean, I don't know. It just felt like it was kind of, like, an off segment. And then, like, it didn't get, like, that much better. So by the end of it, I was just like, oh, okay. That was a lot of tonight.
Like, Big Show, like, when they were doing the whole angle before, Big Show was like, he was basically like, I don't like either of you. At first, it started out as he didn't like Big Cass, and then he helped Enzo, and then Enzo kind of accused him of attacking himself. So really weird. What does Big Show have? Like, why would he come down to the ring to try to fight Big Cass for Enzo?
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those weird things. So they didn't know there's no real explanation for. They didn't explain it before they had Cass turn heel. So by the time he did, we just have to assume they were buddies anyway. And Cass was right. He really was trying to replace him.
Yeah. So yeah, that segment was all right. We get some stuff with Roman and Samoa Joe sprinkled in because, as we know, Samoa Joe Roman Reigns was the main event of the night. Any big points of the two interviews? I don't think so. There's a lot of I'm the big dog and a lot of I took the beast to the limit and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So
just some good, mic time for them.
Some standard stuff. So Finn Balor and Elias Samson are still going. The big point of this match was that Elias got to the outside and Balor had the upper hand, and Elias ended up slamming Balor over the head with his guitar, which usually they take the guitar square over the head right in the center and they soften up the middle of the guitar so that's easier to take. But Balor decided to take it on the shoulder, and it looked like the top might have cut him open a little bit. Maybe that was planned like that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the WWE being cautious to stay away from concussions. I think that's probably it.
Has he done this before? Not on the main roster, but in NXT. Did he ever hit people over the head? Did he ever hit people over the head with his guitar?
I feel like I've seen him do it once.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think it was to anyone like important.
No, yeah, it was just randomly when he was having a match in NXT. So, I mean, it's good that they saved it. I wish they'd have saved it a little bit longer for like a feud, like an Extreme Rules, and maybe next year or something. I don't know.
Right. Which to bounce off that, Elias does not have like the end of his feud with Finn Balor is next week in a no DQ match, and then Finn Balor is gonna move on to Bray Wyatt, which is a feud that a lot of people wanted. And Wyatt cut a promo, something about wanting to hurt Balor. Honestly, his cadence is unique to him. But, like, we don't really need to hear what he's saying anymore, do we? I literally messaged you and was like, yeah, I stopped listening to the actual word he says. It was like, blah, 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 I'm going to hurt you, blah, 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 let's fight.
Basically, yeah. It's sad because I think if I remember correctly, his name is actually Wyndham Rotunda. That's his actual, like, first and last name.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine getting stuck with that as a kid. And he's tried to, like, live with – well, think about – no. I'm saying, like, trying to live up to that hype in any way possible because there's no way of acting like you're not. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, not the point. Like, and then, like, he's lived up to the hype beyond what anyone could ever have imagined. And then, like, because they had him lose so much, it's like almost like these promos don't even matter. No one buys it. He's either going to lose or he's going to win. It's not like we want him to win anymore because we obviously want to see him win. But if he loses, we're like, oh, yeah, Bray Wyatt, he loses all the time.
Can I just hope that Bray Wyatt keeps losing so much that the only person that can save him is Matt Hardy?
You must be deleted, Bray.
Like, let Jeff go do his own thing, and instead of broken Hardys, you just have the broken duo of Matt and Bray. Just go do that.
He meets Bray Wyatt on an episode of Raw, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, excellent.
Bray brings out the maggots, and he's like, this is delightful.
That would be good. I hope that happens.
8 of 8 idea, WWE. Take that. Take it and run. Brady, I believe Cass should face – sorry, I haven't been keeping up with chat, Damon. Brady, I believe Cass should face Roman and Enzo – face Neville. I think they might put Enzo down into the cruiserweight division eventually. Damien says, is Garrett single? No, he's married. He's married to that cat. It was all a very weird thing. They can't see you, Garrett. Remember, there's only 2 of us.
Yeah, I know.
Garrett was aggressively dabbing. You missed it.
Wait, I'll talk while I'm doing it. Yes. All right.
Okay. Imagine the broken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt. It's a dream feud. It is, but they need to build Wyatt up.
Yeah, he can't be Wyatt that he is now versus.
People have to mean something, dude. If we had, because it's funny because remember how hot that Bray Wyatt John Cena angle was in like 2014. Like,
yeah,
Wyatt hasn't changed. Like, he's still doing all the same like cool shit. Like, it would be cool, but it's just no one cares anymore, and so.
Well, I mean, there's like 2 types of characters in wrestling. There's the ones that are changing all the time, like, I don't know, like, whatever. Just pick any random wrestler that can adapt to any crowd. And then there's people that they do the same things all the time, like a Finn Balor or a Bray Wyatt, where they do the same things in every match and in every, like, feud. But, you know, because you like the character so much, you're like, whatever. But Bray's lost that now. Everyone's just like, whatever, it's Bray Wyatt, which nobody should ever say.
Right, like I hate that because he is still unique. He's so different. The way he talks, the way he presents himself, the way he wrestles, everything is different, which means he should be a superstar. And the thing is, these feuds that were like, oh, yeah, it would be great to see him against Balor. It would be great to see him against broken Matt Hardy. It would be great to see him against Seth Rollins when we were saying it's like, oh, shit. But he's going to lose all these feuds. Or at least the other guy's going to look stronger, so.
Yeah.
At least he's moving on to Balor, so he officially won the feud with Rollins. Surprising.
Yeah.
So,
no wonder Rollins is bored.
Speaking of the Hardys, they had a match against the Revival. They got a lot of time with this match, which is good. It was a bit of a Revival showcase. The Hardys can hang with them. This is just
you can't deny that the Hardys looked so old in this match.
Oh, they absolutely did. But it kind of works because Revival has that old school style anyway.
No, I'm just so slow compared to the Revival in this match.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Matt Hardy's lost a couple steps, bro. It's okay. That's why he needs a drone.
They're both like 40 now, so,
Yeah. Jeff Hardy would still dive off the Jumbotron if they'd let him.
Yeah. This match, I like this match. There was anything particularly wrong with it. It was just, it was a filler match, is what it was supposed to be. This was set up last week. This was just set up so they could have a segment in the middle of the show where they could have a match. I don't even know how many matches total there even are on this show. I can look. I will.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a phone call in like the middle of it and was watching that. It was someone's messaging me, but yeah, I mean, it was a good match. Revival end up winning, but Scott Dawson had the tights, so this is going to continue. I'm fine with it. They're going to have a match at SummerSlam. Put them on the pre-show. They need to just have the Hardys keep losing every feud until they're eventually broken. They hinted at it really hard, so we'll see.
The 5-match card.
Oh yeah. So let's talk Reigns and Joe before we talk about Kurt Angle. We'll talk about that last.
All right.
The predictable thing happened. Braun Strowman interrupted the match and came out and kicked the asses of both Roman and Joe, and that's how we went off air.
Yep.
I mean, the match was all right. It was a normal Joe match, normal Reigns match. They hit each other hard. It was good. But we were all waiting for that rock music to hit. We knew it was hit.
Oh yeah.
And Braun Strowman goes off air looking strong. Hopefully Kurt Angle's just like, dude, you were the 2 #1 contenders and you both got your ass kicked at the same time by Braun Strowman.
By one guy. He's the #1 contender.
So Braun should just be the #1 contender. Just do it, man.
Strowman has to defend it.
The match. Did the ref declare to no contest? Because
I think that happened. I didn't catch who actually won, so I assume that's what happened.
Yeah, because he dragged Joe out of the ring, but then the ref didn't call it a win for Joe. That's what I thought they were going to do. He was going to drag Joe out of the ring, and the ref was going to say since he attacked Joe first, that Joe was going to be the winner.
No, if he attacked Joe, Roman would have been the winner.
No, because whoever gets attacked is the one that ends up being the winner because they win by DQ.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was thinking of it backwards. What am I doing?
It's always kind of weird to think about it. So that happened, and then the big news of the night. I thought I was going to be right. I said that Kurt Angle was going to announce that Chad Gable was his illegitimate son. They actually didn't go the illegitimate son. They went the way of Kurt Angle knocked up a chick in college, and he got adopted, and then now he's back. And I was like, dude, it's Chad Gable. And he's like, and he's been raised on good American values. And I was like, it's Chad Gable. And he's like, and then he was a 3-sport athlete and excelled in wrestling. And I was like, it's Chad Gable. And he's like, my son. You may know him as Jason Jordan.
What?
Like, so, hey, Charlie sent us a picture.
Yeah.
It was remember that time Kurt stalked Booker T's wife? Well, here's the result. It's got Jason Jordan. I mean, they got the same haircut from back in the day. They both wear the suspenders. Like, there's a lot of parallels, and this really makes a lot of sense though when you see Chad Gable getting the push over on SmackDown, because a lot of people said Vince McMahon, like, he thought the money was in Jason Jordan out of American Alpha, so it was weird that they were giving Chad Gable a singles push, but now it makes total sense, right?
Oh yeah, because they were probably planning this the whole time. That's why this stuff with Gable started, and we just didn't know it on the SmackDown at the time. I can tell you this: they're getting very dangerously close to cross-brand storylines already, and I'm hoping we may get a because I don't know if you saw Chad Gable's reaction was what on Twitter. And so I'm thinking that could be maybe potentially a cross-brand match at SummerSlam. Chad Gable versus Jason Jordan.
I think they're gonna play the role of like Gable might face some adversity, and realize that the tag team scene is where he needs to be, and they might do the Chad Gable searching for a tag team partner, and Shelton Benjamin just so happened to get cleared very recently. And as we know, WWE was planning on signing him, or I think they did sign him. But then when he came to take his entrance physical, they found out that he was injured and that they couldn't officially sign him. So if Shelton Benjamin's good to go, and Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin end up being a thing, I mean, Chad Gable's got a lot of Charlie Haas in him. I think he's better than Charlie Haas, personally. Would you be down for that tag team? I think SmackDown could use it.
I think it'd be awesome. I think that there'd be some – I can see for CS making a joke. Man, Chad Gable, that racist. He just replaced his black guy with another black guy. You know what I mean? I can see us making that joke.
But you know what? I'm okay with it because it's still mixed tag team. Sitting thinking about it. Just shit. Wow. You're right.
We would make that joke.
But yeah, so Jason Jordan is about to get a monster push. What's his first feud? Do you think they're not going to really put him in a feud right away? That would be my guess, honestly, is that they're just going to kind of play up the Jordan is Angle's son, and maybe they might do a whole thing where he has to earn his way up, and the father is super hard on his son, so he doesn't want to just gift him opportunities, and maybe Jason Jordan has to work his way up the ladder, so to say.
Yeah, I don't know. They could just give him a push. They could just be yeah, they could totally play the I don't care that I'm not supposed to do this.
Kurt Angle
I'm just going to give him all the time. Gives him a shot against Brock Lesnar.
That's what I'm saying.
Monday Night Raw.
Well, since the number one contender spot was never decided and Brock Lesnar isn't medically cleared to compete, my son, Jason Jordan, will take on the beast Brock Lesnar and then get squashed in 30 seconds. That would be terrible. That's the worst way you can do it. WWE, don't take that advice. That would be terrible. Sheldon did not sign it because he was injured yet. Yeah, a lot of people were thinking Dixie Carter, but I personally like this better than Dixie Carter. It would have been weird. There aren't nearly enough people that know who Dixie Carter is at home. It's not a big name. People are saying, well, they did it with Eric Bischoff. Yeah, but Eric Bischoff was running WCW and was beating Raw in the ratings for months leading up to that. Eric Bischoff coming over to Raw. So
one of the I seen a post earlier, and it was a bunch of different ideas for what it could be. And it was a
SmackDown.
Haha. No, I seen a post. John seen a post, but yeah. Anyway, it was a bunch of different photos for what this reveal could be, and the one that they had in the bottom right corner was on Facebook. Those little collages of photos they put up, and it shows the first 5 or whatever. And it was the picture of do you remember back in 2000 and I want to say 2002 or something, or 2005, 6, something somewhere in there, when it was Lesnar versus Angle, and he walks up and just fucking kisses him. Excuse my language.
I don't remember that.
There's a picture. I can find a picture of it, dude. It exists. It's one of the, it's a Greco-Roman wrestler thing, I think, or something.
I mean, the real thing is, if we're trying to, bring this whole story full circle, we need to see a video of how Jason Jordan came to be, right? We need to find out who the woman is. Whether it be a video or still pictures, do the really creepy private investigator through the blinds. You know what I mean? Kurt Angle back in the day. The real question is, did he create Jason Jordan with a broken freaking neck?
I would think, right?
Was he wearing his gold medal when it happened?
Oh, absolutely. Smacking right out the back of her head.
Did you happen to see Twitter what Jason Jordan's new catchphrase is?
Oh man, no. What is it?
He's gold-blooded.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah.
Just nope.
Oh God! Imagine if he started to be Carmelo's second manager. Damien remembers. That's yeah. Yeah. Gold-blooded. That's not okay. WWE, don't do that. But yeah, I mean, we breezed through the night. I feel like 30-minute episodes are a little better than hour-long episodes anyway. And plus, there's only two of us, so a little less banter. One thing that's been really getting on my nerves, I think they said Braun Strowman like once. Why? I feel like his official name might as well be Monster Among Men.
I mean, whatever. That's what they call him most of the time.
And then what bothered me was like all they called him was the Monster Among Men. And then at the end, Booker T goes, "What kind of a man is this?" And it's like, well, you've been telling us for months that he's not a man. He's a monster among men. Stupid announcers. I feel like Booker T hates the nicknames too. You never hear Booker T yelling, "The big dog."
Like, he probably does.
Ever. Like the only big dog belongs to James Ellsworth, and he's suspended.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, I don't know. I guess Booker T would come from that era where you didn't necessarily need to be Booker T the this or this the Booker T. You know what I mean? Like, or whatever. You know what I mean? Obviously, the last one was kind of stupid, but you know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly. Like,
so.
And when Booker T won King of the Ring, he didn't just become the King Booker T. He became King Booker. Like,
it was a different character. Yeah.
They just went all for it. Like, imagine if they just started calling it. Seth Rollins was no longer Seth Rollins. He was just the Kingslayer and the Big Dog and the Mountain Among Men.
Dude, the Kingslayer actually sounds like a good wrestling name.
Now facing off, the Kingslayer versus Lunatic Fringe.
Versus Lunatic Fringe. Wow. Oh man. Versus Wacky Dean Ambrose.
He's so wacky, Michael. Look at him go.
Look at him go, Michael.
Isn't David Otunga supposed to be the announcer on Raw instead of Booker T? Yeah, but he's filming a movie. So he'll get.
How do you think that went? Booker T was going good for like a month, and so they were like, "You want to go do a movie?" And he was like, "All right." And then they were like, 2 weeks later, they're like, "Oh man, we should have given Booker T the movie."
Yeah, it's gonna get rough when Otunga comes back, but whatever, we'll survive. Charlie's hanging out with friends tonight. Couldn't do the podcast, so we'll miss you, Charlie. Those of you that might be here and want to watch Big Brother stuff, I'm about to go live in about 10 minutes. Just let me make. We had some things go down today, so I'll talk a little Big Brother. But that's it for the Raw Deal podcast. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, click the little bell so you know when we go live, and we'll catch you guys on Wednesday.
Later, dudes.